So now that you have an overview of what HR does and some understanding about why study HR, let's talk about the different functional areas of HR. Specifically, what does HR do within a business? And then let's explore the partnership model in business today, or why should you care about HR? So what has been your experience with human resources? Some students come to this course and they've had some experience with human resources. Maybe they've worked at a job and human resources was part of the interview process, or they were involved in their training and helped explain their salary and benefits. Maybe you've worked in human resources, so you have a lot of experience with HR. Or maybe you've never had any contact with someone who worked in human resources. That's all great. We're going to be exploring different topics this semester together, and I'm going to be asking you throughout the semester to share your experience regarding human resources, positive and negative. So let's talk about the different functional areas of human resources. I call these the 9 pillars of HR. Typically, when I tell someone that I used to work in human resources, they ask me about recruiting and hiring. This is probably the most common view of human resources. What is recruiting and hiring? Well, it's generating a pool of candidates and hiring the right person for the job. The recruitment process can be long, and the hiring or onboarding process can take months. It doesn't stop the day someone starts their job, but actually continues all the way through the probationary period. The second functional area is salary and benefits. These are both the wages, so how much money we are actually making, but also the non-wage compensation that we earn. So things like our benefit plan, like our medical and dental benefits, whether things like eyeglasses are covered, perhaps even things like whether daycare is subsidized. This is both our salary and our benefits. So what we take home, what do we earn from our job? The third functional area is employee discipline. Human resources is very involved with developing guidelines for the workplace and our rules and helping managers enforce those rules. And this is something that is ongoing. There are new things that develop all the time that require a review of both disciplinary processes and sometimes new guidelines to be developed. The fourth area or pillar of human resources is training and development. And this one may be familiar to you. This is both formal training when you first start your job, where you're, for instance, taught what you need to do, how you need to do it, what time you need to come into work every day. So very formalized training. But it also involves ongoing training. So once you've been in the position for a little while, this is things like professional development, what other training you might take throughout your career within an organization. The next level is health and safety. You might be familiar with health and safety if you've worked in a warehouse or you've worked in a situation where you've had to deal with different WMIS training and other injury and illness prevention. Health and safety is a responsibility of everyone in the workplace, but certainly it falls under the scope of responsibility of human resources to put injury and illness prevention workplace at the forefront along with managers. The sixth pillar or area of HR is employee retention and employee morale. This is all about motivating good people to stay within the workforce and building a positive work environment and work culture. Human Resources works closely with management to make sure that people are happy at work and that they enjoy coming into the workplace. So employee retention and morale is a strong pillar of human resources. So those first 6 pillars or areas of human resources might be things that you're somewhat familiar with. These last 3 are not quite something that people think about when they think about human resources, but they are still important areas or functional areas of HR. Succession planning, which we're going to explore together this semester, this is the process of identifying and developing new leadership within an organization, so that when old leaders leave a company, when they retire, for instance, that we have new people to slide into place easily and the business can continue without any issues. The next one is job analysis and design. If you've ever had a job description, then you've gone through something called job analysis, or your position has gone through job analysis. This is where human resources has a systematic process for collecting information about a job for preparing a job description. There are also sometimes elements of job design that are included. Job design helps improve employee satisfaction and company productivity. We're going to look at those a lot closer in a few weeks. Last but not least, strategic planning is one of the 9 pillars. This is the process for determining the vision of future of a company and identifying goals and objectives for the organization. Strategic planning is a lot about understanding who is in our business in terms of human capital and making sure we have the right people in place to move us forward. All of these functional areas work in partnership in human resources. We say that successful organizations combine the expertise of area managers. Area managers are people who are responsible for overseeing the work of others. We combine their expertise along with the expertise of HR managers to develop and utilize the talents of employees to their greatest potential. We would never expect, for instance, a marketing manager to know about all the different areas of HR, but we would expect a marketing manager to partner with an HR manager so that they would be able to develop and utilize the talents of their people to the best of their ability. In this partnership model, human resources is responsible for 4 different areas. These are in no particular order, but the different areas that HR is responsible for, number 1 is advice and counsel. Again, back to my example of a marketing manager. If a marketing manager has questions about whether they should pay overtime, for instance, to their employees who are working over a long weekend, or where they should go to hire someone new, that falls under the umbrella of advice and counsel. They would approach their HR partner and ask them for some advice, for some counsel, for them to help out a little bit, so that they understand what they need to do. This is an important role in terms of the partnership model, because again, areas of outside of HR, we would not expect managers to know about all the different things related to human resources, but we would expect them to go to their human resources manager to ask questions and get advice when they need it. The second area is service. Human resources is a service function to an organization. Service for things like payroll and benefits, perhaps even for training and development. The third area is policy formation and implementation. Human resources is innately involved with formation of new policies as they're needed and implementing new policies throughout an organization. We've seen this just recently with COVID-19, where there were lots of new policies required for things like working from home and scheduling people in different shifts, for instance, and rolling out these new policies for health and safety of people. Last but not least, employee advocacy. HR is our advocate, my advocate, your advocate. When we have questions about payroll and benefits, when we have questions about our manager, about policies and procedures, we need to go to HR as our advocate to help us out with any questions that we might have.